start the week with an enraged pass. The pace is fast if you want to succeed, fueled on thoughts of wealth, power, and greed. We isolate ourselves, filling out voids with mindless distractions. It seems as if we are no longer in control of our actions. A distinct disconnect pervades our culture. Real human connection is fed to the vultures. Only until we learn that love should be the goal will we be fulfilled, mind, body, and soul.
Hi, I'm Dr. Debbie Norris. I'm the founder and director of the Mindfulness Center in Bethesda, Maryland. I'm also the director of the Psychobiology of Healing program at American University. Mind-body practices are a way of integrating your consciousness with the physical experience. Mind-body therapies are now being established as the evidence-based best practices for the medical standard of care for treatment of chronic pain. And these do include self-care practices such as meditation, yoga, tai chi, and qigong. My personal story begins with my interest in dance and other forms of physical exercise when I was a child. But eventually life got busy and I had my children and put more of my focus on their care than my own care. I was so handicapped that I could not lift my infant son. The only way I could hold him was to lay down on the ground and let him crawl up on top of me. Finally was diagnosed by the chief of internal medicine at Kaiser with fibromyalgia. And walking through the store, I saw Jane Fonda's movie Buns of Steel. And I reflected on being told by my physician that day that I was going to need to get a wheelchair and that I should purchase this wheelchair before I needed it. And I thought to myself, the only buns of steel I'm going to have is a wheelchair underneath me. And it was the next morning I woke up and I said, I'm not going to go that way. And with that inspiration, I went back to what I had learned as a child and I started exercising. Now, let me tell you, my first exercise was to go for a walk and breathe and cry because I was in so much pain. But gradually over days, the pain started to subside. It started to disappear. I knew I was on the track. And so I figured if I could get oxygen into those muscles, they would no longer hurt. Indeed, that's what worked. We have a class at the Mindfulness Center that's called Low Back, Hip, and Knee Pain. It's a mind-body class for people who are suffering from pain, particularly in the lower body.
I came here because I was having back issues, specifically my lower back, my sciatica. I think sitting at a desk, like most people, for 5 days a week, 8-10 hours a day was starting to really hurt my back.
I was bedridden after an accident 6 months out of the last 18.
I have had a number of people walk out of class after the first, second, or third class and say, I've been in chronic pain for years. I was told I needed surgery, and the pain is gone.
This is only my third day at the Mindfulness Center, and today I'll be taking my 6th class. I can see this is it for me. This is what's going to help me heal my body.
The active ingredients in these mind-body therapies that are working, that have been identified, are 1, interoceptive awareness of what's going on.
Focus to the very basis of the story of the emotions.
And 2, arriving there with compassion. So we don't go and say, I've got a bad knee. We don't have bad body parts. We have body parts that are speaking to us. We have body parts that we've finally opened our consciousness to recognize that what really underlies the beginning of these practices is an empowerment towards self-care.
To just be able to take care of myself for the first time in my life is a gift.
Now that we have a research base, an evidence basis, we have the data that shows that these self-care practices work. Find the self-care practices that work for you.